Hey guys, so I've done even more testing. This is probably going to be the final video on this topic. More testing on Radeon Relive and the audio stutter. And first, I assumed it was high VRAM usage, which it is, but it's not specifically game related. The game settings are important, but the actual usage going up and getting eaten too much, like into towards the cap of the GPU, is actually caused by background processes. So, or other processes running alongside your game. So Discord can do it. Discord will drive up your VRAM usage if you have hardware acceleration enabled. If I boot up Discord right now, you can actually watch the GPU usage go up. See that? It's going up, like, not super fast, but once you get into a room and join a Discord, start chatting, it does increase the usage. But the other factor is not necessarily the usage itself, but the way it uses the VRAM, dynamically streaming. Then the GPU is trying to stream textures for the game and data for the game. So you've got two sources. Then you've got your Relive encoder trying to also encode at the same time. And I think there's an issue with the bandwidth capping out and causing the audio stutter. So, like, originally people recommend, like, normally people recommend disable hardware acceleration because it causes black screens and crashes, but not everyone experiences that problem. So I actually had my hardware acceleration enabled somewhere. Wherever the section is, maybe it's under voice and video. I'll find it. But pretty much I had my hardware acceleration enabled because it wasn't causing me any noticeable problems. And I thought if Discord does make the microphone, something to do with the mic and the audio lag, it's probably just Discord itself. But turns out, yeah, here we go, hardware acceleration. That hardware acceleration in any application in the background can screw up your audio, even though it's not affecting the gameplay or anything like that. So you don't have to just get a black screen to have audio corruption and echo and all sorts of issues pop up. It's just simply having a hardware acceleration program running in the background that'll jack up your GPU usage, your VRAM usage, and somehow interfere with the game. So now you can see it's gone from 6.7 back down to 6.4. And the other issue I had was Chrome. I was running it in the background, sometimes uploading. I checked if the disk usage was causing stutter. It was not, because the disk usage in Task Manager seemed normal. But Chrome has a setting here under Advanced, and I actually had this on because, like I said, I wasn't having problems with hardware acceleration ruining my games. Everything seems normal apart from the fact that when I'd go over recording after doing it, I'd have this weird audio stutter that seemed to be tied with high VRAM usage and also apparently hardware acceleration. So the last video I did, I deleted it because it turned out really bad. But I had, Modern Warfare textures and VRAM all set to lowest, so it shouldn't have been stuttering. But I had Chrome running in the background, and then I noticed the VRAM usage with Chrome running was still up at like 6 to 7 gig plus. So yeah, something was jacking up my VRAM usage even with low textures in game. I've since cranked them back up for testing, but I'll put them back low. I'll leave filming on though, because that's like a must if you want to get rid of shimmer and jaggies. Like, it's so hard to pay attention and spot enemies when you've got this background noise, like basically distractions. You can aim better even though your FPS is a little lower. So anyway, 5.4 gig, and I'll load into a match. Right now my audio should be crisp and not stuttering, finally. And see, this is what I was trying to explain the first video I did, but I had Chrome running with hardware acceleration and my VRAM usage was just abnormal. And my video, even though I was under 7 gig of VRAM usage, which should be enough headroom for Relive, I was getting bad audio stutter at just talking the way I am now. So if everything goes the way I expect, and I've got to the bottom of at least the issue on my PC, we can rule out, you know, like matching bit rates, this and that, but one of the factors also seems to be... Alright, I want to get that guy, yeah. One of the big factors... There's a guy coming to kill me. No, he's running away. Also seems to be hardware acceleration, so that's another one. Background process with the hardware acceleration. And yeah, your VRAM will get affected by it, but not necessarily be in the 8 gig range. There is a chance that, because AMD said they fixed a bug regarding incorrect VRAM display, so the VRAM could actually be higher than what it's showing, and it's supposed to be fixed, but it's possible that a background application using VRAM is not registering how much it's using properly, because you know how Chrome just eats RAM up. Maybe it eats VRAM up, and we don't know that it's doing it until a problem like this audio stutter appears. And that could also explain why, even though AMD has been working hard to fix the driver bugs, there are bugs like this that don't even make sense particularly. Like, it's pretty hard to diagnose. A user would have to report the bug and say what's causing it. This guy's like lagging. A user would have to report the bug specifically in order for AMD to fix it, right? So how can AMD know that hardware acceleration applications are causing audio stutter when most people just say, well, the drivers are broken and they stutter? Like, that's nothing to go off. Where are these bad guys though? Hello. So yeah, hopefully this video actually helps improve the drivers, because it's like one weak point of AMD at the moment compared to NVIDIA with NVIDIA. So many freaking claymores. Damn. Really? We all died. Yeah, so like, it's one of the weak points is that people have been saying NVIDIA Shadowplay is good, and then they've tried Relive and they've got audio issues and all sorts of problems. The audio issues could just be something simple. It could be the matching bitrate, or it could be this issue with a lot of people do use Discord and a lot of people have Chrome. So no wonder, like, when you're running commonly used apps, if one of them is causing the problem, AMD already did what they could to fix the black screens and the hardware acceleration issues. You know, they've got it in their driver notes that they've been working on this, but no one has connected the dots that it can also corrupt your audio. And it's not necessarily because of the microphone in particular. It's the fact that the hardware acceleration is interfering with the encoding. So, I mean, the microphone's involved for sure, because you can separate the microphone track, and sometimes that resolves the problem. Let's see if I can chase this guy down. But, oh, another guy. Awesome. Anyway, I'm solo, so this is like a throw. I'm not gonna win this. So yeah, so as you can see, I've got it. It's stable now. The VRAM usage is down at 6.1, and the recording should be, the audio should be fine, apart from this high ping packet loss that I'm getting. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slowly crank settings all the way up to max GPU usage, VRAM usage out, and see if it was the GPU acceleration background process causing it. Which I'm pretty sure I wasn't running on one of my other tests. This is why there's like multiple factors that have to be considered. I thought I had a teammate. Who's that? It says just me on my... I don't know. That's a revive, right? It's just broken. So yeah, like... it could be there's two things contributing to the. I swear I've got like a teammate I don't know about. Oh no, that's a player. It's like a weird bug or something, or perk that shows wrong. So yeah, it could be a combination of hardware acceleration plus high VRAM usage, one or the other. They can both trigger it, as well as mismatched bit rates and too high bit rate, too low bit rate, not enough bandwidth on your audio settings. Like I've got my Relive at 144 kilobytes. As actually we can go in here and see I've got it set 50 HEVC, 144 kbs, 50 MBS, which hasn't been an issue. I've tried higher and I've tried lower. There's a good chance that too low will cause chopping, and too high could cause disk write issues, maybe. But more importantly, I've got my system bit rates matched and frequencies. So now what I'm gonna do is, what did I even change? I don't even think I changed anything. I'm gonna set it up to normal. So this is wrong, but anyway, my VRAM usage will go up now. And yeah, you can see the VRAM even on normal is at 7 gig. But it seems to be a bit more clearing. I've still got Discord open though, and I've got Chrome open, but the hardware acceleration is disabled. So one thing I also have to check is does Chrome's hardware acceleration still eat VRAM when you've got it disabled? I mean, Chrome could just be doing some weird stuff we don't know about, and it's actually eating up GPU overhead that you need for recording. So right now, 6.7 VRAM, normal textures, 3440 by 1440p, so that's 1440p ultra wide, which is close to 4K. And 6.7 gig, I'm going to close Chrome that had hardware acceleration disabled, and we're going to see live in the video if something happens. The usage looks about the same, but we'll see if it clears, because I noticed that with Chrome, with GPU acceleration enabled, it does seem to clear room for itself. Like the VRAM buffer, whatever it is, does clear. Sorry, I'll just deposit this small amount of money I had because it was a free balloon. I want to hunt this player that's got that icon on him because it's annoying. So yeah, you can see it was at 7 and now it's gone down. So I have not changed the texture quality to have the VRAM usage go down, but Chrome was open with hardware acceleration disabled. So Chrome could be causing these problems with AMD, with Relive, and it just hasn't been thoroughly tested by anyone yet, even like R&D teams or whatever, whoever's doing quality control on their drivers. But you can see here 6.6, and the audio should be fairly clean with that amount of usage, I hope. And I've also got Discord open, so 6.6, and I'll close Discord fully. And let's see if it drops even further, or if it goes up, down. We can at least eliminate Discord as a possible factor, as long as your hardware acceleration is disabled. But yeah, I've seen other people post that, you know, they've had hardware acceleration, they don't get black screens issues. So that might not be the only thing you have to worry about if you're recording or streaming with Relive. You have to be aware of the audio stutter problem. So 6.7, it looks stable. So it seems like Discord didn't actually do much. The hardware acceleration is off in Discord. If it was on, I think it would contribute to the stutter, because that's what what Chrome was doing, and that also has the GPU acceleration. So now what I'll do is I'll fire Chrome back up. So we'll just double check. I'm using full screen, not borderless, because full screen helps keep the VRAM usage down as well, and it eliminates the possibility of other apps eating VRAM, of Windows eating VRAM. Okay, 6677, okay? So I'm going to fire Chrome back up, and GPU acceleration is disabled, as you can see. Hardware acceleration is what it's called. 6677, and now it's at 6745. So it went up 100, well not 100, but you know, it went up, even though hardware acceleration is disabled, and it already restarted itself. Like when you disable it, it wants you to restart, it relaunches itself. That's already happened.
Enemy personal radar in the air.
Yeah, it seems Chrome without hardware acceleration somehow affects the VRAM usage. Like I'll go sit in a room, like maybe the game progressing, like there's different elements happening all over the map, right? Maybe it was just a timing that when I changed the setting, or when I launched Chrome, the VRAM usage went up from the game, like, because we need some control here on what's happening. So you see it's gone up, 6855 now. It's still going up. So that could be the game progressing. It could be elements in the game contributing to that. Like everyone's gear, everyone's money, and the timer on the map, like different events happening. 6856, but I'm not going to move from this room, this building. This will give us some. So 6856. If I close Chrome now and it starts to drop without me leaving the room, then we know, like, see, because this is what is loading stuff, this YouTube page I've got open. But hardware acceleration's off, so it shouldn't be loading into VRAM, shouldn't be using GPU acceleration. So it was at 6.8, and it still is, but there might be a delay, we'll see. Stay around here, just to see if that changes, or if it was the game. And if it doesn't change, then firing it up again should, because you know sometimes it could have loaded, Chrome could have loaded something, and then when you close it, it's still taking up VRAM. So to check if it's actually loading more and more, I'll just fire it up again, and I'll click on a different video, right? And then we'll go back in. So it was at 685 roughly, and we'll see if staying in this same room. And we'll also see, like right now, it's like definitely having acceleration enabled causes some corruption, but with it disabled, I'm just making sure that it's really disabled and not causing corruption. So at the very least, turning it on and off, if it's a factor, it'll be corrupting and then not corrupting on and off with the video. But I am running normal textures to keep the VRAM usage down and isolate Chrome as a possibility. And then, yeah, so it seems like Chrome's okay. It might have just been the timing, you know, when I first launched it and then closed it. So if I close it now, it should be the same, 6.8, staying in the room. Yep, 6.84, 10 MB difference. And now we will see if this hardware acceleration is a big factor. So I'm going to turn that back on. Relaunch. So I've got a video playing. And now we should see our VRAM usage just go insane. Yeah, so you can see that, right? The VRAM usage was at 6.8, now it's 200 MB higher. The GPU is doing two things at once, plus encoding, and that makes sense. You know, like when you think about it, it's doing GPU acceleration for Chrome. It's running the game at like 98%, or you know, a high amount of usage, and it's trying to encode a video, and that is just overwhelming the maybe the audio buffer for the mic. So this is probably corrupting right now. And this is what I didn't test in my other videos. Like I wasn't aware of it until I figured it out from all this testing. So now we're going to
Enemy personal radar in the air.
advance, disable the hardware acceleration, relaunch. Same thing, running a video still, reloading that video, and then we're going to go back in. So the CPU, it's fine if the CPU is doing stuff. That's okay. I'm not worried about the CPU doing work. There's enough headroom with the 6700K to do that. It's just to do with audio corruption. So you can see that the VRAM usage went back down under 7 gig. So even on normal textures, having Chrome open was enough with GPU acceleration, hardware acceleration, to push the VRAM up to around about where I guess above 7 seems to be where the audio corruption occurs. But I did have corruption with the GPU acceleration on all low. So with the lowest settings, I still had the VRAM going up to 7 gig with Chrome open and hardware acceleration enabled. So this is really annoying. It keeps running away from me. It's like a player with the icon on their body. See that? That's so annoying. Is he just over this hill or is he behind the mountain? So I don't know if this is a bug or a perk or something that it like causes the revive icon to appear on an enemy player, but it's got me killed before. At least solo, I know. But yeah, guys, you can see like also traveling across the map and loading more of the map. It seems Modern Warfare doesn't clear itself properly. Doesn't empty out the previous textures that were loaded from when I was over there. So we are still getting increased VRAM usage at this point. But whether the audio will break up from it is another thing, because I've often had Chrome running. I just didn't think it was a factor because I don't get black screens from hardware acceleration, and yeah, I don't have crashes or anything due to it. Seems it doesn't need to crash to mess things up. Jeez, this guy won't sit still. Chasing him for days. Probably banked his money already. It's like I'm hacking, hey. It was worth it. So yeah, we'll see. Look, like it's up at 7.5 gig now. I'll actually see if that drops, because yeah, you saw that I disabled. I've definitely disabled hardware acceleration. It could still be doing something. You know, this kind of thing takes multiple. So. Okay, I've traveled across the map, more textures have loaded. I did just drop into a new zone, so it looks like it cleared 200 MB of VRAM from that. Well, just gonna hide here. So 7.2, I've had this running with hardware acceleration off, and I'm gonna close it, see if that 7.2 drops, because it still does seem a bit high. No, it's not making a difference. So that's just the game. Anyway, at least, yeah, we know if this... We know, we'll get to the bottom of this audio stutter problem in this video, hopefully. funny dudes?
Enemy soldier incoming.
Where? I don't see anyone. I don't see anyone dropping near me. Who's shooting at me?
Over here. Anyone lose a box of cash?
Anyway, so I guess this video is just a test,
I'll drive.
a live
Get in.
test. So I don't know how long I should run it at normal texture. But at the very least, now we're isolating VRAM specifically. Chrome is closed, Discord's closed, VRAM at 7.2. And we would have heard if there was issues with oh shit, this is bad. Ah, lame. Alrighty. So now we're gonna increase the VRAM usage. Oh no, we're gonna try to decrease it because 7 is high. 7.2 is high. And that increased the VRAM usage. But that's not confusing at all. So changing textures mid-game appears to have loaded low textures on top of normal textures. That's ridiculous. Why wouldn't it replace the existing textures in the VRAM? Or I guess clear the VRAM before loading more. No logic there. See if I can catch this guy. Oh, how? Lag? Lame. I'm out of the way, right? No, it somehow caught me. Whatever.
I'll drive.
So yeah, you guys saw that. The VRAM usage from changing... So this makes it even harder to test properly because, yeah, turning the texture resolution down should have... Oh, turning it to low. So what? What is very low if it's at 7 plus, and then low turns it to... Let's go back. Let's experiment more here. So I've gone to low now. So it appears going from normal to low didn't reset it properly, and then maybe dropping in the new area is what reset it, because I just died and it airdropped again. So wait, we got bad guys near us.
I found a bank if you need.
So yeah, now it's back under 7 gig. There's no other apps to interfere with the audio. I don't know if the corruption will just remain after it started, which is possible. Like, it could be a desync type of corruption. What the heck? Oh, such bad lag.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
The heck? Oh, sad. Too many players. So hard to solo in this mode. So now we'll see if it's cropped to the 6.9 usage with everything closed. And that should have been long enough. Now I'm gonna set it extreme, all to high. Applied. the usage should go up as I explore the map. So I'm gonna try to parachute across more of the map. Where am I?
Does anyone need
No
this?
one's been to the prison. So yeah, you can see it's going up past 7 gig already. Although it does look amazingly good for just, you know, a few hundred MB of texture usage. On top of, you know, the baseline level of textures at very low or normal. Like, that looks nice. Like Assassin's Creed-ish. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna upload this regardless. So if the corruption has remained from a certain point in the video, it's just be safe to assume that the corruption is triggered, and then it just continues from that point on without restarting the video and, you know, restarting the game, or maybe even restarting the PC. But this might,
Bounty target has been marked. Kill 'em.
like, this is kind of valuable information for someone that does want to record with Relive and not use alternative programs all the time, because, you know, the less stuff you have running on your PC, the better your quality is going to be. Unless you have a really powerful CPU and run OBS on you know, best quality with your CPU, then that's another thing altogether. Did I really? Yeah, I triggered a hunt mission. Damn. So now I've got everything maxed, and maybe I'm hoping that the audio actually came good. The only other thing I can think to test as well is if what was I gonna say? The other thing I need to test is whether, what was I, whether something or other. Running. There was something else that affected audio that I was meaning to test. I haven't tested it yet. I'll think of it while I play. Why can't I drive that A?
Somebody drive.
I can't think of it. But at least, yeah, you know, process of elimination, all the bitrate stuff, everything we've gone over, or everything I've gone over with you guys that are watching these audio corruption files. At least we're getting to the bottom of it, you know, like.
I'll drive. Get in.
Because I've at least got it working in some videos where the audio's turned out perfect, and I think it was VRAM related, but then it might have been hardware encoding contributing to it, or a combination of both. Chrome is something I've often had running in the background for alt tabbing, because, you know, everyone's got a powerful computer these days, and we all multitask and have, you know, even BitComet could be running.
Over here. Anyone lose a bucks of cash?
I'm gonna try to get some road kills. How do I get up there? So yeah, I guess I won't know the result till I upload this. I can watch it over, but I still want to upload it anyway, just for the proof that, you know, to show you what I've been doing regarding this issue, to try to get to the bottom of it and push AMD to fix it. Obviously, the hardware acceleration should not be ruining Relive just because you got a browser open. There needs to be some kind of implementation that separates the VRAM necessary for encoding and for GPU acceleration, and for the game. You know, like it should all tie together nicely where you can do all of it at once, if the drivers are set up and optimized properly, for lack of a better term. So now I'm back out of the game. The VRAM usage is not emptying. So this could be the game, this could be the drivers, it could be both. It's really hard to say for sure, because obviously a game can have issues with certain drivers, and normally a driver fix will be the solution, but sometimes a game patch can also fix that problem. Like, for example, high CPU usage, they've patched that with the game's been the cause before. But also driver usage can cause high usage. So, you know, it's kind of hard. They gotta communicate, but at the very least, this issue is across more than one game. So I have to test with Tarkov maybe and try running Discord again. But yeah, this is progress towards the goal of having smooth real-life recordings without audio corruption. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If I do end up finding out some more issues in the video, like when I rewatch this, I will have to make a future video to honestly to get to the bottom of fixing audio 100%, which I think if corruption gets triggered and just continues, like for example, if audio gets out of sync, because audio is involved, it's the audio that's skipping, not necessarily the frame rate of the videos. But if the corruption remains once it's started, then that would mean that you can't just play with your settings at the start of a match. You have to figure out what your VRAM usage is going to be, trial and error, find out what the low VRAM usage is that won't cause stutter, and then keep it at that setting and not change it up just because you want more FPS or whatever, because then you'll be introducing the stutter yourself, which is what I've been doing in these tests. I've been causing the corruption. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.